Man, I just finished up an in-house, and it was great in-house training with this big auto group. And one thing that really stood out to me is how many salespeople are having a challenge dealing with failure, with going out and talking to customers, and that customer leaving and going to another dealership and buying that car for $200 less, and they drove 100 miles to save $200. Well, look, business isn't changing. Business is reverting back to what it was in 2019. And I think one of the most important things as a salesperson is making sure you have that attitude. Make sure you take a checkup from the neck up before you take that next up. You're gonna fail. Look, you're gonna talk to customers. You're gonna have stints where you're going to talk to a dozen people. Half of them can't buy, the other half won't buy. They start shopping you. Look, the customers have the power now, and you're not going to close everybody. Look, people could tell you how to close every deal. You're never going to close every deal. I think what's so important for us as salespeople is that we don't let that customer that we didn't sell, whether they were tough, whether you spent 2 hours and they couldn't buy because of the credit, whether they were too buried in their trade. How are you gonna be a goldfish, right? Goldfish have, 3 or 6 second memories. They swim around that little bowl and they get to see a new castle every 3 seconds, even though it's the same castle. We kind of got to have goldfish memory as salespeople. Man, you just know that because that last guy didn't buy doesn't mean the next guy's not going to buy. You need to have a clean slate and treat everybody that walks on your lot like you're going to buy. Great closers have that mindset, the attitude of they believe from top of their head to the bottom of their toes, if you don't buy from me right now, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. Doesn't mean you're going to sell everybody, but you have to believe that. So you need to work on having that goldfish mindset, having that 4SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Next, and just get out there and give every customer everything you have. Look, the next customer you talk to has nothing to do with the last customer you talked to. That guy that comes in and kicks your teeth in and treats you like crap on a Saturday morning and then leaves without buying, if you let that guy affect you, it could cost you thousands of dollars. 8 hours later, you're still bitching about that guy that left without buying and treated you crappy. And he's at Chuck E. Cheese having a birthday party with his kids, eating pizza, playing skee-ball, and he couldn't pick you out of a lineup, yet you're still bitching about him, and it's costing you thousands of dollars. Be a goldfish. Focus on the next customer. They deserve an exceptional buying experience, and you owe it to them, and it starts with making sure you have the right attitude.